drill holes in these top sections, you do 3/4 of an inch from this flat surface here. Measure, mark, drill, 1/4 inch-ish hole for these first two, and then this one just center it in the available space there so it fits with the dress washers. Next, lay out the hardware according to the instructions as it comes. Kind of just look at the pictures for the appropriate length screws, spacers, and such. So you have just a nice little pile for each appropriate hole. When you're ready, it's hard to see on this colored flap, but there are lines marking where you need to fold the flap to conform with the color, with the corner of the finger in the fender. So there's edge lines on there. It's pretty easy, as long as it's not super cold out, you'll be fine. You can heat it up if you want to get a nice crisp line, but otherwise just bend it right there in that corner. Just press it over, kind of like that. Again, the black material flaps. It's a little easier. It shows up a little bit better, the edge lines, but they're there. So you do as much as you can, like that. Obviously that's more bend than we need, but it'll pull out a little bit and look nice. Next, start anywhere either in the middle or at the rear. Through the bolt, dress washer, through the top, and through the spacer. Through the flap. And then add your final washer and lock nut on the bottom. And just get the nuts on there enough, just finger tight for now. You can keep everything loose until they're all on there. Once you get these ones on, you can tighten it down so it's fairly snug. Hold the flap in place because you've got this final hole down here. Hold it in place to right about where you like it, where it sort of lines up here. And then visually you'll be able to line up the edge, and a marker here, where the hole is, right? Put a little mark right there, and then drill that with a drill. 1/4 inch bit again. And then you can add this final mounting point. And from there you just tighten it down. Good to go. So on the fronts, it's very similar to the rear. In a couple of spots you got to mark and drill. So again, use measuring tape from this flat edge here, 3/4 of an inch. Mark, drill, 1/4 inch bit for both of these spots. This hole you'll drill last at the end of the process. Grab a screwdriver, pop out this lower of these two body clip inserts. Push this thing out, you need that space. Again, with bending the flaps, again, it's hard to see on the coated material, but there are edge lines here at the two spots to conform to the fender. We're going to pre-bend those now. We're going to bend them more than they need to be bent. They'll pull out and leave kind of a nice line that way. Now, for this very front spot here, requires the use of this bracket. So on the inside, it'll mount like that, if that makes sense. So to make this a little bit easier, we're going to pre-mount this to the flap using the 16mm button head screw, unless we change that to 25, but it's the button head screw, bolt, whatever. From the bottom side up through the shorter end of the bracket, like so. a lock nut on there. Again, just finger tight is good for now. But that'll sort of make that easier. And then to finish that, we'll just start up here at the front. Oops. Wrist washer on this side. So this is going through here, like so. And the bracket will mount on to the bolt. And again, just finger tight with a nut is totally fine right now. Just to kind of hold it in place. Next one forward. Or rearward. So once you've drilled the hole, put that in there. This is a 7.5mm spacer. It's not very thick. This bolt is kind of short, but it reaches through. You just gotta be a little bit patient. Long screw, 25mm spacer. You'll feel some tension at this point on things, which is fine. And then again, for this final spot down below, hold the flap in place. You can kind of center it with this hole, so it makes sense. Mark the back side of this, drill a 1/4-inch hole through. And then start down here on the bottom to tighten. For this top one, you'll probably need an open-ended wrench. It's a little tight to get the nuts back behind here. For the one on top of the flap, probably. This one I think I can use the bracket. There we go. That's it.